everyone, and welcome to Garden to Kitchen. Today we're going to be looking at the apple tree, the only apple tree that I have in my yard. It is a 5-in-1 M7 variety. 5 apples on the same tree, or 5 varieties on the same tree. And I'll tell you a bit about that later on, but it's a great way to have lots of apples on a small tree if you have a garden in the city. So we're going to be looking at, of course, the harvest, and as you can see from what you're looking at right now, I've counted over 165 apples on this tree. That's right, 165 apples. Difficult to count, especially on a windy day. But we have lots of apples, and I attribute that to the Green Earth Dormant spray that I applied this spring around April the 15th. And you may have seen that spraying your apple tree. And I did that for the very first time. Let me tell you, 2 years ago, I had 125 apples. However, the leaves were really destroyed. And last year I had 25 apples. That's right, 25 apples. And of course the green leaves were completely destroyed by a fungus. So this year I decided to do something different, and that is spray it with the Green Earth Dormant spray. That is actually a combined horticultural oil with a lime sulfur. And totally organic. You can buy it anywhere at any big box store, including Lowe's, and you just spray it on. And you can watch my video on how I sprayed the tree around April the 15th. And this year, when the blooms came, I had, like, it appeared to be thousands of blooms. It was just loaded with flowers. And as the flowers turned to apples, the leaves were in beautiful condition, just beautiful condition. So it really paid off. I'm going to be doing that again next year. And of course we have 165 apples here, and we're going to be harvesting them soon because we're coming up to October the 1st. And we have a couple weeks left before they start to sweeten up. Here I just pulled one off this morning, beautiful apple here. And this is a Liberty apple, and it has a beautiful red streaks on it, and the apples are in pretty good shape. And of course we use them for making apple crisp, and you can find the apple crisp recipe on my blog. Yeah, just look at the blog address below here and you can go to my blog. All you have to do is scroll down to the search engine, put apple in there, and it'll take you to the recipe and everything you wanted to know about buying a tree and planting a tree. Okay, so today, of course, we're going to be preparing the tree for winter. That's correct. We're going to actually apply a tree guard. I have a tree guard here that I prepared in my shop, and it's a perforated drainage pipe. And why am I using a perforated drainage pipe on my tree to protect the stalk? That's because the mice, during the winter time, they scurry under the snow. We might have a foot, 2 feet, or 3 feet of snow, and the mice, or voles as they're known, they tunnel along underneath the snowbank, and of course they look for something to eat. And when they discover, especially a young apple tree, they just love that tender bark and they'll eat it. And of course if they eat the bark all the way around, completely encompass it, that is called circling the bark, and it kills the tree immediately. It won't grow because the bark is essentially the highway that transfers the nutrients up and down from the root system to the apples. So let's get on with this. Let's look at this tree guard. I bought this tree guard at Lowe's. I believe it was 10 feet long, and worked out to roughly about $1 a foot. And of course, why do I use these tree guards? Because all the people in the industry, all the people working in planting young trees in the city of Ottawa, they use these tree guards. They use the perforated tree guard, and they put it on to protect it, especially when their trees are young and the bark is very, very soft. So what I did is I prepared it in my shop. I cut it in two so it's nice and easy to apply. Matter of fact, These are being used in the apple industry, and someone has actually developed a device to hold this open while they put it on and take it off the tree to avoid damaging it. Yeah, it's created a whole industry around the drainage pipe. So I'm going to be working on my tree. You can see I've neglected it at the bottom here. It's starting to grow lots of other little baby apple trees. The grass is long, and I want to get in there and remove the existing apple tree guard, and put a new one on. So that's what we're going to do today, and you can follow me along, and maybe that's something that you'll want to do if you have an apple tree, or if you're thinking of buying one. Make sure that you apply a tree guard at the very start. So let's get started, and I'll show you how to install this. So here we are, we're underneath the tree, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to trim out these sprigs, or whatever you call them. I call them baby apple trees that are growing from the root system. This root system is an M7 root system. In other words, it comes from a tree that's going to stay very small, and of course the apples are grafted onto this root system, and that's why the tree stays about 6 or 7 feet tall. It's called an M7. Anyway, we've got lots to trim away here. Oh, incidentally, on the other side of the tree, I just noticed one branch has broken. So many apples on the branch that it actually broke the branch, and so it's loaded, and I'm going to clean it up, and we're going to install this tree guard. That's right. So I have my snips here for cutting the grass. I have a pair of other snips for trimming these little trees, and I have a saw in case I need that, and of course I have another tree guard that I'm going to use, and I'll show you how that works as well. And it's all in the search of the beloved apple, beautiful apple that I'm going to be making apple crisp with as well, and taking some of these to work. Great apple, so I'm excited about that. So let's get started. As you can see, all of these branches are growing from the root system, and you're supposed to trim them away. I just sort of neglected it because I was so busy, and it was so hot over the summer that it was very difficult to come out here and do some work on this tree. So doing it now because it's a little cooler. Yeah, a little cooler. Getting down to the bottom here. It's really overgrown, and that will help the tree put more energy back into the tree. Alright, so now we're going to use these, and we're going to cut away some of the grass that's growing here, clean it up a bit so we see what we're doing. Hi Bob, be with you in a second. I'm just recording this video. Yeah, my apple tree doing well. Alright, so that gives you an idea. Nice and clean. You can see the old guard is on there. That protected the, oh my goodness, earwigs. I hate earwigs. We're going to take this off. Get rid of some of the earwigs. There they all scatter. A few slugs. Not a pretty sight, but we'll clean it up. That's right. So get rid of them. Little bugs are getting away. Had some damage before, and it appears that the tree is starting to recover. It's starting to grow back the bark that was eaten away by the mice during the winter time. All right, so this is what I'm going to show you. When you're applying your tree guard, you got to be careful, especially if the tree is brand new tree, very small, very tender. You can really scratch the bark and injure it. because there's actually wires that are built into this, this tree protector. So what I do is I put on a quick plastic tree protector. And if you don't have anything else, and if you don't have one of these, you can always use one of these. It's better than nothing, okay? So now what I do is I open up the tree protector, and of course you can see that the white protector is protecting the tree from getting damaged. So there we have it. It's installed, and all you have to do is remove the white tree guard. It comes out, and now you have a permanent tree guard to protect the tree from the mice in the winter, because the snow will be about this deep or greater, and the mice will be scurrying along the bottom, and they want to eat the bark. So what you do is, before the snow arrives, is that you push this down a little bit into the soil, and of course it'll protect your tree. They somehow don't like to go down inside the tube, and it works really well, and that'll serve you for years and years. As the tree gets larger and larger, it simply expands. So there you go, and now you have some ideas how to protect your apple tree for the winter. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed all the apples, and we'll see you next time in the garden. Bye bye.